What's going on, A&A Show? Austin Lewis here coming to you guys. You got the man, the myth, the legend. You guys already know who this is. Mr. Zaback sitting right to me. And then we got a special, ladies and gentlemen, guest here, Anthony
Sarandrea.
Anthony Sarandrea here with us, man.
Welcome.
This guy is a legend.
Welcome to the A&A Show.
He is a beast. And let me tell you, man.
He's not the man, the myth. What else? What is he?
He's just the beast.
He's better than that.
He's better than that.
He's better than the man, the myth.
We haven't done an A&A show in, I don't know, a week or so. It's really hurting my head every single time I fall asleep, hit the pillow on my head, and I think all I can think about is just Zaback's voice in these headphones here. So I figured today, what better day than, a beautiful Tuesday where this cat actually just bought himself a brand new Model 3 Tesla. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Anthony. We're going to talk about
Anthony.
We're going to talk about his McLaren, actually. I'm sorry.
What kind of McLaren?
God dang.
G37.
Yeah.
Dude.
Although I like the Tesla gang, bro. That's where it came from.
Dude, I've never bought a new car till today.
Tesla.
Ever in my life. So we'll see.
I
see how it rolls.
What Tesla did you have? You had the Model
I had the S.
Yeah.
That's when it came out.
That's right.
See, I was going to get the X, and then I was like, you know what? Because I want to get a McLaren. I want to get a 720. I'm like, I'm just going to get a Model 3 for now, Just daily drive it, buy a McLaren later.
Yeah.
Bro, I love that shit. I love Tesla.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I've had it for like 4 hours, so we'll see.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break this thing down here. I'm fired up about this whole thing. So, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, if you guys are on iTunes, Spotify, just go ahead and do the
smash every button you can.
Hit anything and everything.
Any
what
button
I mean?
you can see.
If there's a thumbs up button, I would annihilate it because Anthony's going to be dropping some bombs, ladies and gentlemen. I mean,
That's exactly right.
Not only is he tall, skinny, and handsome, he drives a McLaren and he knows a lot. You're sitting down. They don't know. But we're gonna get into this thing. So Anthony, bro, it's kind of I'm excited about this because for those of you that are listening, me and Zaback have kind of been on the outside looking in type of thing. Anthony and us, we kind of have some mutual friends.
For sure, bro.
Or some, mutual acquaintances and just people that, are killing the game ultimately. You know what I mean? But killing the game in a different killing the game.
For sure.
There's those e-com guys that are, stunting on Instagram.
100,000 gross.
With BMW, 100,000 gross, not including, actual profit or takeouts, right? So these dudes that were sitting, this dude that were sitting to the left of us, he's actually a baller, like an actual baller. So I'm excited to get into this, man. So break it down for us. What does life look like right now? Currently for Anthony, bro. And I mean, I'm talking everything, bro. Obviously, we know you got a girlfriend because you said you didn't want to answer a couple questions that we were going to ask, but dive into that for us, bro.
Actually, the answer is one. You said how many girls have I slept with?
One girl ever.
Exactly.
Ever.
I love it.
Yep, I love it.
You're a stud.
But no, I mean, boys, I'm excited to be here too.
Yeah.
We said, we got great mutual connections, and I'm pumped to jam. But yeah, I mean, life's good right now, and it's kind of weird because the world's falling apart, and obviously I wouldn't prefer it to be this way. But I was telling you guys before, we do a lot in financial services, so we're essentially like a subprime lending tree. So if people are familiar with the lending tree, we connect customers to different financial products. So right now everyone's looking for their health and financial needs that they're looking to get fixed. So business has been going really well, actually, and but again, it's bittersweet. It's kind of weird to to talk about it, because of all the shit going on. But also, it's not just that chilling, where it's just because of the times I'm all pumped that things are going well. I mean, I'm putting in fucking probably more work now than I have in 2-3 years. Honestly,
for sure.
I've been really grinding it out just to even keep it at the level it's on right now.
Yeah, for sure. So what does that look and feel like?
Dive into that a little bit more.
Like ultimately, right? Financial service. What do you do every day, bro?
Yeah, like if somebody doesn't know what that means, what does that mean, right? Like.
So essentially, we educate and attract customers for different insurances. So if someone's thinking about getting private health insurance, or they want to compare their auto insurance, or fix their credit score, or get out of credit card debt, or anything like that, we do everything up to the handoff to the actual servicer of the company. So if that makes sense. So we spend close to 6 figures a day online. So running online ads, getting in front of customers, educating them, and then ultimately get them to take action, whether it's call in, fill out a form, fill out an application, whatever that is. Yeah. And then we get paid on the handoff. And then, one of our partners, a Geico or an Allstate, actually, finishes through and actually does the work, writes the policy, retains the client and all that stuff.
For sure.
That's pretty crazy. I almost want to go back a little bit really quick. And I know it's a little early to go back, but how does one even get into that? I mean, where, what were you doing before that? How did you fall into that?
For sure. It's kind of like a fucked up roundabout way of doing it. So I started actually as a personal trainer. And I wanted to help people realize they're, get out of weight, be healthy, and all this good stuff.
And
I
some help.
I started, telling the people I was working with training, I was like, you got to eat healthier, you got to work out. And I'd realized they were working 2 jobs, so they couldn't work out at night, or they'd have to stop by Taco Bell and get a $3 dinner because that's all they could afford or had time for. So, no pun intended, started, unlayering the onion here. And realized that so much of it actually rolls back to someone's finances. And, now I'm blessed enough to realize it's divorce, suicide, depression, anxiety, all these other things really come into someone's overall financial well-being. So really it started down that path of saying, oh shit, I got to help people be able to put more money in their pocket or keep more money in their pocket. And then from there, it's, looking at X's and O's. So what's a growing market? There's never been a downturn in credit card debt in the country, as far as amount of borrowed, things like that. It's a very taboo market. So I love a taboo market other people don't want to talk about or be in. It's not sexy, so there's not a lot of competition, things like that. So all of those really played into getting it rolling.
And so here you are, right? You're a personal trainer at the time?
Correct.
Okay, so you're a personal trainer. You're looking at this whole thing. Because I'm always curious, right? Like, it sounds so good when you tell it like that, and it sounds great on our end too. But like, then what, right? You meet a guy, you know what I mean? Like, you're on Instagram, you see an ad. Like, how do you actually say, okay, I'm getting into this market? And I mean, how the hell do you know what you're doing?
So I see a dude shooting hoops on a Tuesday, playing basketball, and I said, what the fuck do you do? That's where it starts. Really, it starts there. And he says he works on the internet. The thought of me sitting in a chair for a bunch of hours was like the fucking nightmare for me. I was like, fuck that. Sure. I don't ever want to do that. And I think there's a great lesson in there that you don't always have to watch the vehicle that gets you to the destination. Sometimes you focus on the destination. You know what I mean?
But I like that a lot.
Okay.
But I mean, to answer the question though, tactically, I interned for this guy for free. At the same time, I meet my now business partner, who you guys know as well, Josh Snow as well, who's already working on the internet, starts teaching me how this stuff works. I'm learning from this guy as well too. And it ends up him and I in a coffee shop, Josh and I, launching an ad, spending $100 on Facebook, made like $120, and I was like, dude, there's my fucking lunch money. I was I'm set. I'm good. I was like, even if it just sits at that, I'm in a good level. You know what I mean? But and it was helping people get out of credit card debt is what it was. So it was having someone call in that had credit card debt problems and getting them to a credit counseling agency that actually talk to them through a financial plan and all that good stuff. So it was a pretty quick kind of MVP of getting something up. Blessed that it kind of clicked out of the gate and now scaled it like crazy. So
for sure. So let's talk about that. Josh Snow, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get Josh Snow.
You don't have any interest in the snow teeth, do you?
No.
Okay, got it.
Josh,
just Josh.
Yep.
So for those of you guys listening, watching right now that don't know, his business partner, Anthony's business partner is Josh Snow. Maybe you've seen him before. Okay, if you haven't heard of Anthony, he owns a company called Snow Teeth Whitening, which Floyd Mayweather, pretty much everybody's I feel like at this point done some sort of commercial or something. So anyway, small world. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I love the financial services market. I feel like that's what we're doing on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very cool.
Yeah, I
think so. Let's dive into that aspect of things. Like, you meet Josh Snow. How did you guys connect? And then how did you sit across? Because I can tell you, I mean, this. I sent this kind of DM on Instagram 5 years ago. Yeah, you know what I mean. He met me in my ex-girlfriend's living room
at the cottages in
Tempe. Where we took the day we met, we took our first Instagram photo. We posted it on. It's actually probably somewhere up on this slide eventually.
At some point it'll be up there.
I mean, that's kind of how this whole relationship started.
Well, that was real close to when we met right there at bottom right.
Yeah, bottom right. You know what I mean? I don't know what I was looking like, but how did that relationship kind of acquire, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, surprisingly, especially that are viewing our stuff, they see the A&A brothers. You know what I mean? They say the A&A show. They're like, how did you guys find a partner like this? Because this is almost virtually impossible to do.
Finding a good business partner is like getting married, right?
Yeah.
Bro, it's even harder. I think the stats are even worse towards it.
For sure.
It's really bad. Yeah, it's fucked up. But I mean, it was at ASU at the university. We both had a mutual friend who was starting this entrepreneurship club. We showed up. There was literally us 4 right now. And there was 4 people. Him and I started talking. And really, it sounds funny. Like, for about 2 years after that, we just kind of maybe traded a message once every other month. Nothing crazy. Just kind of kept in touch. Said hi once in a while. I'd ask him some shit. We'd hang out or whatever. But never really in a friend-to-friend thing. And, I started an internet marketing agency along the time too. And, we were killing it for a couple clients. So I was like, okay, if they're happy to pay me, I must be making them a fuck ton of money. So I was
sure.
like, okay, let's see what else, I can do here. So, him and I we'd always talk about business stuff and work stuff. We always really connected on an intellectual level.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we said, hey, this is a market I think we can go into is financial services, again, for taboo, growing, a bunch of other reasons. But I think him and I clicked as far as you're asking, like business partner wise.
For sure.
We both have a very high risk tolerance. So
burn the boats.
Yeah, exactly. Burn the boats. Or he grew up really poor. I grew up. My dad's a retired cop in New York, so I grew up really like edgy, very loud, very quick, not afraid what people think, shit like that.
Yeah.
I think we connected on that really quickly, even at a young age. Which is why I think we gel so good together. We both come in low ego, but are really not afraid to knock the shit out of walls and ask for forgiveness. Versus permission.
I like it. And how long have you guys been partners now?
6 years.
So Snow Teeth was not a thing yet at the time when you guys started the company or whatever the financial service. So Josh and you did that first, and then later on Josh went and did Snow Teeth.
Yeah, right around the same timeline. You got it.
Or give or take.
You got it.
Okay,
yeah, very close.
Yep. Okay. For sure.
So talk to me about that too. I mean, if you're all right with that, Josh Snow comes partner. Josh is a gangster, by the way. We have nothing but respect for him. He's a stud. Yeah. He's a beast. Yeah. Numbers don't lie. So he goes and does Snow Teeth Whitening while you guys are owning this financial service business. Correct. What does that look and feel like?
Yeah, it's.
Obviously you guys' roles started to adapt.
Started to morph. Yeah, it's funny because like even to your point, even at the beginning, he very much plays a great advisory role in this business. Yeah. Where he comes in and he's not in the day to day. Yeah, I'm managing people. I'm hiring people. I'm looking at numbers and operationally and things like that. Yeah, where he's very good at conversationalist strategy. Not that I don't think I'm a great conversationalist, but he's very far superior on painting the vision and things like that. So. It's actually painted into be a beautiful relationship the two of us have, and I have an insane amount of respect for what he does, and I think vice versa. He has an insane amount of respect for what I have. Part of it's like for me, and this isn't the reason for it or not, but physical products are a big cash drag. There's a lot of overhead. There's a lot more customer service. Like I have such an immense respect for people that run an e-com brand because I sure as shit could never or would never because there's so much shit that goes on to it besides, like I said, I'm getting an ad, I'm attracted to someone, and then I'm sending them off, and then I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid like digital. On Friday, and I spent the money on Monday. You know what I mean? So it's a digital product. You got it.
It's almost a digital service at that point, right? Like it's not even a digital product, right?
You got it.
So which is even easier than a digital product.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, because you're not worried about, like you said, cash flow constraints, or you're not worried about logistics on the back end, things like that. So tremendous respect for that. That it's not something that at least today would want to dip my feet into. But I have a fuck ton of respect for anybody who's in it because I think it's 10 times harder than some of the shit we're even doing today. I really do.
Yeah, 100%. That's cool, man. So what does your everyday look like right now, right? Yeah. What do you do inside your business? Do you still only do the financial business? Yeah. Or are you kind of dipped into some different pots and things like that?
Yeah, a few other ventures, but a lot of it's in a either in a capital perspective, mostly capital. So injecting money, not necessarily time into. But my day to day looks like it's really we've got a little over 30 employees that work for the company. Sheesh. And I had a mentor tell me years ago that his job was to be a cheerleader, and I didn't really get that. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, and it is cool to be a cheerleader for everybody out there. But like literally, my day is like, Austin, what do you need? How can I help you? Oh, you need it? Okay, let me go get this. Oh, you're kind of struggling here. Let me go get this. So I'm on the phone probably 8 to 10 hours a day, whether it's potential employees, new partnerships, maintaining relationships or partnerships, things like that, strategy level. So I'm still chatting with the team as far as what kind of angles are we going to run? What are we going after? We're looking to tackle a TikTok or a Snapchat or whatever that is. Okay, how does that look like? What does that look like in the guts? Type of things. But I'm very much removed from the weeds, I would say, in a lot of ways, which I think is a natural progression necessary in order to scale the business up versus actually I haven't launched an ad in years. And, I think that's necessary. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs or beginning stages have a hard time letting go of that, whether it's control or just afraid to step out from what they're really good at, last thing I'll say on that point was, I made my first hire. I had someone tell me, if you can hire someone that can do something 70% as well as you, that's a win. And like that immediately relieved all this pressure where I was like, oh fuck, I don't have to find someone who can, run Google AdWords as good as me with this or that, what I mean? So that dramatically loosened that kind of pressure valve.
That's sick. I like that.
So here's what I would love to know. If I know that when I do, first of all, I'm learning a ton, and I know Austin's learning a ton, but I always also try to think of the viewer, the listener, what do they maybe they're brand new to business, maybe they're brand new to whatever. Like what does that look like? So you start the company 6 years ago, and then now you got 30 employees. I mean, obviously that didn't happen overnight. It was just you probably and Josh, and you guys did everything, and then eventually you had one person, and then how long did that take? I mean, how long did it get to the point? How long till you really looked at the business and said, man, like we have an actual business here? This
well-oiled machine.
This is a machine. Was it a year? Was it 2 years?
Yeah, I'd say it was about a year and a half. Okay. And it really went to, I felt like I had built myself a job, which was kind of cool at the time. I was like, okay, cool, I've got income, but it was just a job. And then I started looking at all the things I didn't like in my day-to-day. So if I was doing bookkeeping work or this, that was all easy to get rid of. Yeah. And then where it became harder was looking at, these are both high-value activities. Which one's a little bit higher? Yep. Yeah. And let me do that, and I got to get rid of, and that was tough because you're releasing control and relinquishing really responsibility for something that you're like, this has got value, but this is maybe 1% higher. Fuck, that means I got to start doing that more. Which, that's where it became hard.
What's an example, just out of curiosity? Sorry to interrupt. Of two high value activities where when at surface level you look at them and you're like, man, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, media buying. Okay. You could make a great case as running the Facebook ad. That's literally how much spend goes in, how much comes out. Like that is the sales transaction versus actually talking to a partnership or somebody. What I don't mean a business partnership. I mean like someone in this case who is actually going to service our customers. So making sure they can monetize the people the best way, looking at their entire sales process after I send them a phone call or a form or something like that. Yep. And that's tough because this one is in the short term theoretically higher value activity, where this one is a long-term higher value activity.
Yeah, customer satisfaction, all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
And how do you gauge that?
This is great.
How do you gauge the success of the partnership? I think a lot of it, I used it earlier, but risk tolerance, I think, comes back to a lot. And it's funny. Sometimes I find that whoever's on the other end of the table with me is more important than even like how we're buying media or how effectively we're doing it. And so, I think that can equate in a lot of ways to, are they when bumpy roads, this is perfect for right now, coronavirus, things like this, are they pulling back? Are they like, hey, let's talk in a month? Or are they like, let's double down and let's go twice as fucking hard?
For sure.
Those are the type of companies and people that if you're like, let's double down, they're like, pull back, there's a misalignment there. And I think that's an extreme example and a very easy one to see, but there's little micro cracks that I think happen where there's a misalignment like that too, with even just take something like risk tolerance, for instance. And then, it came back to, for us, it's, who can monetize a customer the best. So if I send you there left versus right, who can actually close the highest, who can actually has the highest lifetime value, who actually provides the best service for you as well long term. So there's brand equity there and things like that. So those all play into actually determining like who's good partnership, and that could work for e-com. That could work with who's the actual factory as well too. The factory producing the product, or who's the customer service team behind if you're outsourcing that or whatever that is too. Is like, do they align with you on a personal level is very important in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's sick.
So you've had a ton of success. I love it. 6 years ago, but how old are you now? 29 years old.
Happy belated birthday.
You're in a relationship, right? The only relationship he's ever been in. And what does your personal life look like now? You've got this, you have this business, right? You're doing well, obviously. McLaren. 30 employees, McLaren, you live around here. You live in, by the way, for those of you guys watching, listening, we're in Scottsdale, obviously is where our headquarters is. Do you live in the Dale? Scottsdale?
I'm actually moving to the penthouse in Optima here.
Okay,
actually.
very cool.
Sick.
No way.
You'll
just stop by and say hi more often.
I will, bro. I love the spot.
Yeah. What do you do for fun? What does that look and feel like? Do you do fun stuff? I mean, do you work a lot? How often do you work? I mean, those are the things I want to know, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I do work a lot. I work probably, call it 10 hours a day, I'd say. And I just wake up with a tremendous amount of energy every day. And I don't drink coffee. I've never done a drug in my life. I don't do, and not that stuff's bad, but I have such a passion for what I'm doing all day long that the hardest thing for me now as I've matured as an entrepreneur, as an individual, has been taking a break from that stuff because I love fucking doing it so much. So I'm not overwhelmed with it where like I hate this, like I'm addicted to it in a for better or worse way. A lot of what I've tried to do is pull back how much I'm working. So spending a lot more time. I've got to work out every single day. That's my meditation.
Are you struggling with that right now?
No, actually, I actually have been stringing together workouts, I'd say more consistently now because I've needed it. So it's not like, you and I are going to eat and then we're going to go hang out and then we're going to go here and I've got all these, and I'm like, fuck, it's 11 o'clock and I didn't work out. Like, it's like, I worked for 10 hours and I'm like, I can't think straight right now.
You got to figure it out.
I got to go work out. Yeah. I get it. So,
and are you just hitting an outdoor workout right now?
Outdoor or in the house?
Yeah,
in the house
for
a lot too.
I've been curious. Like, what are people doing right now?
Well, now it's hot as shit.
I know.
Up until this week, a lot more outdoor. But even late at night. But anyway, to answer your question,
for sure.
Do a lot of yoga, working out a lot. I like to give back a ton. So I think that's actually some of my most productive time is I spend about 5 hours a week, which again is nothing crazy, but on mentorship in some way. So I helped start a program at ASU, the university up here for it's called Venture Devils. Essentially,
That's cool.
There's about $3 million a year of capital that goes into this program, and they just give it to seed capital for college students to help get an idea from idea to validation to mass market, whatever that is, without any equity in return or anything like that. So
that's cool.
Very proud of that program. I spend a lot of time with that. I think it helps keep give me a lot of perspective that I think is probably the most underrated thing in someone's success is actually having perspective and staying grounded.
For sure.
100%.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
Dude, actually, I'm a night owl.
Okay.
Really?
So I'll stay up till like...
I could have guessed that one.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll stay up till like 2, 3 a.m. I'll wake up at like 9-ish, 9:30. And then the minute I wake up, it's like a fire hose till like probably 5 or 6. I work out, I hang out, I do whatever else I'm doing, a few things. And then at 10 o'clock at night, like my brain like re-clicks back on in the creative nature. And all of a sudden, like I can focus on like high value, tasks or thinking or creative thinking versus like just I got the next call. I got to respond to this email. Blah, blah, blah.
So what are you doing at 10 o'clock at night?
Bro, a lot of it is jerking off. No, I'm just kidding.
Especially during this pandemic.
For sure. Hey, you create a lot of ideas, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard it from a friend.
No, a lot of it is like I always joke, like if I could spend an hour a day just staring at the wall, I think that's actually a very good use of time.
For sure.
So, and it's really
we just talked about that.
Yeah.
It's really uninterrupted and unplanned. So I don't like tactically go in to actually solve anything.
For sure.
I'm just letting my mind go, and I keep a notepad with me. So not my phone, so I can get distracted, not anything else. I just have like a spiral notebook, nothing special. I have the handwriting. My parents said I should have been a doctor because I write like fucking chicken scratch. I can't even read my own notes sometimes. And then anything coming in, I'm either writing it down or I'm thinking about it, and I have no real direction on that, but usually by the end of like really I've probably been closer to about 30 minutes now if I'm being more realistic a day. I've got something that I'm going to go work on at that point, or I know I've got to do, or I've circled it for the day, like this is what I got to get done. But it sounds counterproductive to do nothing, but I literally try and do nothing, think about nothing, and just like try and be still. And like sounds super like hippie-ish guru like kind of shit, but I really think that's where some of the deepest shit that you kind of suppress that actually really needs to be brought up actually comes out.
We talk about this shit all the time too, right? Like
all the time,
I don't know. Have we ever told like we talked about it on YouTube and shit like that?
We go for a drive.
Instagram.
We go for a drive.
Like we go for a drive. We'll just do random shit too. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Even me personally, right? And it's so funny because people are always like, Austin, what are you doing? I'm like, this is the most productive time because the time where it doesn't look like I'm doing anything is the most productive time for me, right? All of my ideas, all my everything.
You look at Warren Buffett. I mean, he reads and sits in his office for however many hours throughout the day. So and it's just him thinking. And that is his most productive time because
for sure.
I think as an entrepreneur, your job is to look out for icebergs coming up. It's to think through strategy and things like that. And if you're not spending that time thinking, you're spending that time doing, I don't think you're filling your role.
You miss it. You could miss things, right? And you can delegate a lot of that. You know what I mean? You got to delegate the day to day and be the visionary. I read a book. We both read that book actually recently. You probably read it for sure too. A couple books actually by the same guy. What is it? Rocket Fuel is one of them, and Traction's the other one. So they're both great books, and they talk about that, right? Like that, how a lot of times the visionary will even be real hard on themselves in the beginning because they think that that isn't actually a viable role, that being the visionary, but it is.
Oh yeah, right? And I mean you get back to even we were talking about Josh and I's relationship, like. He, in a lot of ways, is the visionary. So he's okay just reading and thinking all day long. And then he goes, hey, I think we need to go to Australia. Boom. And then I'm like, okay, everyone, let's go. Run. We're running. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to get there.
And that's the integrator role.
You got it, integrator. You got it. You know, visionary versus integrator.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And anybody that hasn't read those books, you should go check them out.
For sure.
Traction and Rocket Fuel, right? But who wrote those books? I always forget.
Dude, I forget. It's an orange cover.
Traction,
I remember right.
You could look them up on Amazon.
Google it.
I love it. You didn't answer the question too. What do you do for fun? You play golf?
Bro, I mean, obviously,
5 hours. Right? So you get back. He gets back for 5 hours. Does yoga. Does all that stuff. You do anything?
You got a
else?
girlfriend? What do you guys do?
You got a girlfriend?
A lot of athletic shit, like I was saying.
Okay.
A lot of working out. I don't watch a ton of TV. I like.
You watch movies?
Documentaries. Maybe.
Documentaries.
I go in on documentaries. Like I said, I'm actually not a big reader, so I replaced my reading with meeting people. So I'll try and set up at least a meeting a week, not now, but with someone who's better than me in either philanthropy, financially, whatever that is. And that's my reading. So I actually don't knock out a ton of books, but for fun, I travel. I did travel. I guess. A shit ton. I travel.
Where do you travel?
Dude, all over the world. I love Europe. Greece in particular. I love going to Greece.
Never been to Greece.
Oh, dude,
I'd love to go there.
It's my favorite place on the
planet. That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
Just beautiful, I'd imagine, right?
Bro, it's beautiful.
What do you do there?
Dude, I mean, you take out, ATVs, you ride around in and shit. The water's amazing. There's actually like really good nightlife there, good food. Like it's a whole vibe. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
For sure.
So how long you been dating the lady?
2 years, bro.
2 years. How'd you guys meet?
Well, through Falabi. You know Falabi?
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
So through my good friend Falabi.
Yeah,
for sure. Plug. Anyone who doesn't know Falabi who's listening to, he's a great asset, best dude, one of the most charismatic guys on the planet. But
for sure.
Yeah, connected us. He's like, yeah, this girl needs some marketing help. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. Went over to a place and
gave her some marketing help.
Yeah, there you go. Gave her some marketing help.
Does she have a business?
She actually does a lot of YouTube videos, so a lot of reviews on products, skincare products, things like that. Is going to school to be an esthetician. So
very cool.
It's funny how gravitated towards like an online world in a lot of ways too. It has a good following. So it's cool.
How does that mesh? I think a lot of like if you go watch some of our other A&A shows, we have some guests on here that speak interesting about relationships when it comes to being an entrepreneur, because it's a very I think large struggle you know what I mean, to be in a relationship and also be an entrepreneur. They don't really mesh quite well.
I completely
usually
agree. I agree. Well, I mean, one thing that I think is interesting or different is like my friends are always like, why are you not dating like a girl who's got like a Harvard degree or like someone who's like really intellectual? And I'm like, dude, I talk to smart people all fucking day. Not that I'm calling my girlfriend dumb, but dude, she is so naive to the world in like, oh my God, look how beautiful that flower is. And I'm like, dude, I just had to fucking fire 3 people. I'm like, that flower is beautiful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
but it like pulls me to be like, look at it. I mean, oh yeah, that is beautiful. So I actually I prefer someone in her scenario where she's not necessarily mentally challenging me, but is very there either emotionally or again, even just the word naiveness. I think is a really beautiful way. It comes off as negative, but it's really beautiful just to look at, like, not see the bad in the world. And not that I think I see much bad in the world, but I'm dealing with shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Bullshit
for sure. All day, every day.
Yeah.
So you're a professional firefighter, right?
You got it. So to have someone who's not dealing with bullshit all day long is very refreshing.
And to take a look at things that might not be in your perspective.
You
know what I mean? We drive down the road a little bit differently than, your so-called
you really do.
9 to 5.
Right? I mean, everything about it is different. You're looking
everything
at
about it.
I look at the street light different than a regular person. I firmly believe that.
Everything
you know what I
about
mean? I'm paying attention to the paint on it, the whole nine. I'm trying to figure out, like, is it crooked? Because I want to know, right? I gotta like, I'm just that guy,
100%.
Start thinking about how many employees it took, you know what I mean? This cat used to put up stoplights. Probably took about 20 other of him.
For
20 times 11 bucks an hour, 20.
Doing all the math. Boom. Meanwhile, she's looking at why is the sky blue? And I'm envious of that. I want to think. It's like
all day long.
I got to hear who was it? Why the fuck can't I think his name? The dude fucking fucking Tesla guy, Elon Musk. On Breakfast Club, and we're just talking about. He's like, it's kind of a curse. My brain doesn't shut off, and I feel that a lot. Like I feel like I have trouble sleeping. I don't sleep well. Like my brain is always moving.
24 hours a day.
Exactly.
Somebody that doesn't know doesn't know,
and you can't explain it to them because they think you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
but it's true. I've had a
million talked about that. He said
a million thoughts since we just talked a second ago.
And you have a million thoughts while you're having a million thoughts, right? Like you're thinking about the thought. It's like,
holy cow.
Elon did that interview with Joe Rogan, which he talked a lot about that. I feel like.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of Joe Rogan.
Okay, got it.
Excuse me. One of the two.
And he was smoking weed and
for sure.
That was the one. Yeah, you got it. That's what it was.
Smoking the ganji.
Yeah,
that's right.
I like it a lot. He's a cool dude.
That's
for sure.
So what's the future plan hold, right? Obviously get out of Rona. What is, 35 look like for Anthony?
Shit, man, that's I don't even know what the fuck December of this year looks like, or next week actually. But cool. I think just a simple metric. You know what I mean? It's like important someone listening to not even though 24 is young, to not even wait that long.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure you guys have countless stories all day long about grinding since you were fucking 16 years old.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 8, 9, 10 years.
It's an overnight success.
Honestly,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Overnight success.
It looked a little bit different, but we've been doing it for a long time. We were network marketing when we were 15. Building big organizations of people all around the world, right?
Yeah. Doing something, getting going. And I think specific to even like coronavirus right now, a lot of people are, digesting a shit ton of Netflix, or they're hanging out. They're like, oh man, this sucks. Versus like even just watching this, whoever's watching or listening to this, like
hands down,
you're learning. You're
right. Yeah.
You're investing in yourself, and that's like your network marketing. My fucking whatever it was, going up to someone older, asking him what the hell he's doing, like whatever that is, like those steps of learning and trying to invest back in yourself. I heard a beautiful quote. It was someone who was saying, maybe it wasn't a quote as much as a comment. He was saying, athletes, bodies peak in their like late 30s, right? Like your body can only handle so much stress, but on wear and tear on the body. But your brain, you can keep for, I think Warren Buffett made like 80% of his money after 60 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but we're just saying that compound nature of your brain can handle that push all day long. And thinking of this is really your most valuable asset, and just continuing to build on that is really. Everyone's like trying to build my resume. This, like, no, you're trying to actually invest in this. Is what you're trying to do, because you're going to have this for the rest of your life.
Nobody can take that away from you, right?
Nobody.
Like that's the
it's
one
not going to
thing.
break down on you either.
Yeah.
Like your body breaks down. I have to have knee surgery in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
My brain doesn't break down.
Yeah,
theoretically speaking.
That's
You know what I mean?
exactly
So you can digest hours of this shit.
Yeah.
You can watch this stuff and really learn and grow and get better. Just like you guys started with network marketing and shit like that.
For sure.
Yeah,
and I think we're really big sticklers on that, man. I the reason that we started the A&A show, I mean, there's 100 different reasons on why we started the A&A show. Simply because it's a hobby. It's a hobby, but it's a great hobby. Like how you, meet with that individual once a week. Him and I get to come into A&A show and ask you questions that him and I are just genuinely interested in. Sure. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So
and share it with the world.
And then share it with the world. And then
selfish.
Exactly. And take down the notes. And somebody's recording this somewhere, so I'll have it somewhere. It'll be posted on YouTube, and I'll go watch it 7 times because we are big advocates of mastering the mind, growing the mind, and actually learning what it is that you can learn. That way because it's 2020, man. There's such thing as I believe that there's one stair step at a time. Don't get me wrong, but I think that from one stair to the next stair, you can
skip
2 times speed, just like on YouTube,
Absolutely.
right? This cat listens to things like he's in Shanghai on YouTube 7 times speed. You know what I mean? I don't even understand it, but I think you can do that, assuming you can take in the content that you take in. Subscribe to the A&A show, and if you're on Apple or iTunes or Spotify or something, leave a review, because that's probably the right thing to do.
I agree, brother. And I think the last point I'll say to that too is like why I started talking to people instead of reading books. And it's the same application as you're doing right here. Is like I went through, whatever, like I've got 5 years on you guys. So I've got 5 years more experience. You talk to someone who's 60, they've got fucking double our age experience that you get to digest in an hour.
Yeah, for sure.
So all these countless hours, millions of dollars spent, whatever it was, time, heartache, like you can skip from, you can go from A to E or something like that, or something go A, B, C, D. For sure. Just from how digesting that conversation.
Yeah, and like, book people have to, it's just the industry, right? The books, people are paraphrasing. They're it's perspective. But when you're sitting down with somebody face to face, right, I get to ask you just straight up, hey, what about this or this?
100%.
I love it, dude.
Sure.
I think we have a lot of entrepreneurs that will probably watch our stuff, I'd imagine, and moving forward as we scale and grow. A lot of people that are probably younger, I'd imagine, Lewis, is our audience, that they want to get into business. Maybe they're in business, but they're newer to business. What is your number one, like if you only have one piece of advice, you couldn't go on and on forever. Just one thing, like, hey, everybody watching, listening's got to do this one thing. What would that be?
Fail fast. And what I mean by that is I think a lot of times, like I call it like the mom effect. Like I've got this idea and I kind of keep it and I only show my mom and she's like, honey, that's so great. And I never get out there and I never fall on my fucking face over and over and over and over again. And, I think Instagram's really created, like for me growing up, maybe you guys a little bit too. It was always like, can I get above the ceiling? So can I make 6 figures? Can I make $1 million? Can I do 8 figures? Like that was the struggle. The hard work was always there. Where now, like I look at my little brother, he's 19. And he sees someone on a Lamborghini driving around and shit, and it's like, okay, I know I can do that, but he doesn't see all the hard work and everything else behind it, and I think that's really dangerous. I think that creates a high depression state. I think that creates like I should be here, but I'm not type of feel. Where like me, I was like, I don't know if I could ever get here, but I'm gonna fucking bust it. And I think that's dangerous for young kids right now if you're not aware of it. So that fail fast, like just move, just go do something, and fall on your face 100 times. Is I think probably the most important advice for someone up and coming.
I love it.
I love
that too.
Make sure you guys are taking notes. If you weren't, go back, rewatch it, write it down.
Make it happen.
That's the real deal right there. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's it.
I love it.
Gentlemen.
I think that's a wrap.
Love it. That is, dude. Holy smokes. What we'll have to do, Anthony, is we'll have to get you on the show round 2. If you guys like this show so far, obviously you guys have already smashed the thumbs up button. You guys have already left us a 5-star review. But drop in the comment section below what you guys like to see Anthony on round 2, man. You're a stud.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find you?
I'm pretty active on Instagram. Funny enough, making fun of it.
Yeah.
Just my first last name, or Google me. I do this all for fun. Cool. So if I can reach out any questions,
yeah. We'll throw his links down in the description below.
Yep.
Definitely go check him out. Hit him up.
Absolutely. When you guys reach out to him, let him know where you guys came from. If you guys haven't already, make sure and go smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, make sure to go subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Get fired up about yourself.
That's right.